Hello, my name is Elizabeth Olson. I work for Disability Access Services at ACC. I'm a DAS specialist. My helper over here is Marissa Carrillo.
Hello, I'm a technologist on the team. Welcome to our conversation today.
Okay, and then next slide. The quick note, I have a mild disability. I have cerebral palsy. So if there's something I said that you did not understand, feel free to drop a note in the chat and I'll be more than happy to repeat myself. So, So in this presentation, we are going to be doing different exercises to show what it's like to have a learning disability. So remember, the only way you can determine if you have a learning disability is if a licensed professional tests you, and that's the only way to determine if you truly have a disability. These exercises are meant to make you struggle, to show you what it's like to have the learning disability. So the learning goal is to get a glimpse of what it's like to have a learning disability. These in no way encompass the whole lived life of a person with a learning disability. It just gives you a glimpse. These activities are to promote understanding of why accommodations are needed and why accommodations provide equal access to education. So remember that term, equal access. One more note, these activities are not to evoke pity. There are many successful people in society at all levels who have a learning disability. Accommodations and assistive technology provide a way for anyone who has a learning disability to be successful in education or in their chosen field. Okay, Richard Lavoie. So half of these activities were formed by Richard Lavoie. He worked with students with learning disabilities for over 30 years, and he worked with parents, students, and teachers. All right, all of you out there, you are going to need a piece of scratch paper, a pen or a pencil, a mirror or your cell phone, and a willingness to participate. So I know there's only a couple of you online, but we will be patient and wait for somebody to participate. So if you need a minute to get all those things ready, we will give it to you. Because these activities are fun and they're interesting, and I want you to be able to do them. Okay, next slide. Okay, so Disability Access Services provides accommodations to students at ACC, and we operate under the federal mandates of the ADA, or the Americans with Disabilities Act. So there are 4 ways to contact us. Call us, is a number on the screen, email us, or go through our online DAS website, or come in person to room M70, the M2710. Okay, so DAS works, or Disability Access Services works with each student individually on a case-by-case basis. There is no formula for determining accommodations. Each student is different. Each student experiences their disability differently. So if you have two students with ADHD, they're gonna have big differences in the way their ADHD affects their learning. When a specialist determines the accommodations, they look at the student's disability or disabilities. Half the students registered with us have more than one disability. They look at how the disability affects the students in a learning environment and accommodations that were helpful in their past high school or if they went to another college. All right, those of you out there, I want you to look at this picture and try to tell me what the picture is. Go ahead and put it on the next slide, Marissa. All right, so any volunteers out there, what was that a picture of?
Like a duck, maybe. I saw like a nice dark bill. I don't know.
Karen says cow.
Cat.
Talia says a baby cow with a question mark.
Oh my God, I'm not a cow.
I did not see cow either. I was thinking a cabinet. I don't know.
Clouds.
Mhm.
All right, well, that was pretty good.
Could you go back, please? So
Well,
we can see the picture.
well, what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna show you the picture with accommodations. So this is the picture with accommodations, and the accommodations are the lines. So you guessed it, it's a cow. I've had people tell me it looks like a person stuck on an island but the lines represent what accommodations do for students with learning disability. They provide you access to the picture. They allow you to see what the picture is. That's the same thing accommodations do for our students who are trying to access the learning material to be able to be successful in their classes. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about disabilities, but this is just going to be a basic overview. So I'm just going to talk about the most common learning disabilities. There are many, but we're just going to focus on the common ones. So first, we're going to look at dyslexia. So dyslexia is a language-based learning disability that people with dyslexia have difficulties with language skills, reading, but students usually experience other language skills such as spelling, writing, and pronouncing words. So this is Kira Knightley. She has dyslexia. I'll give you a minute to read about her experiences. So the next activity that we're going to do is we're going to see an example of how some people with dyslexia might see a page with text. Not all people with dyslexia see print this way, but some students with learning disability mix up B, D, P, and Q. They reverse the letter. So this example down here. D, it looks like D-A-I-N. And if you turn this over, it's a P. So it reads pain, but the person with dyslexia isn't gonna see that, so it's gonna take them longer to kind of move letters around, bring letters up. So the next activity will be an example of how some people see the text. So I need some volunteers to unmute themselves and try to read it. Any volunteers?
I will do it. Goodness, so I have to read it just on the screen, yeah?
Yeah.
Gosh, okay. Come on, said Betsy. We have to dig up. Oh my gosh, we have to pick up this corn. We don't have another bag of,
Can.
what? I'm right here. Oh my God, this is so hard. Have another
Oh, it is bag.
bag of, oh no. Oh gosh.
Popcorn.
Oh my God, popcorn.
Okay.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
good.
Forgot the subject of the.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
thought we were bag of food for a dog. What are we doing in the sentence?
Thank you, Marissa. So you can see from this example how hard it is for a student with dyslexia. It's number one, read, but number two, just volunteering to read. They don't want to volunteer to read this out loud. It's torture.
Yes.
But if you give them the time and the right tools to use, they can read and participate. But students with learning disabilities, they don't want to volunteer. They don't want to hold the class up, and they struggled with it their whole life. So if a teacher is so focused on making them read aloud, they're not going to learn anything. They're going to be terrified.
I forgot the subject of the sentence,
Yeah.
genuinely.
So any comments or thoughts about this activity?
No one should have to feel like that.
No.
Yeah.
And then like, for all of you who think I turned it on, I have not volunteered to read out loud in these presentations in months. That was so hard.
It is hard. And I've had professors try this out, and it's an eye opener for them. It really is, to see the light come on and say, oh, okay. All right.
Ashley said, good job, Marissa. She also said, I wish that they never feel alone. So individuals who struggle with this, that they don't feel alone. Talia said, that was so intimidating, with exclamations.
It was so hard.
Mhm.
Good comments, thank you. Okay, next slide. Okay, for students who have a print disability, we use a software program called Kurzweil, and I'm gonna have Marissa take over this part.
Awesome. So I'm over here. I'm going to be on the laptop, not going to be getting up. So let's just focus on our screens. We're going to hop out of the PowerPoint really quickly.
New share.
Huh?
Where the green button? Yeah, stop share.
Oh,
There you
good
go.
for you, Jamie.
Mhm.
So one of the reading programs that we use in-house to support the print disability identity and population, one of our ebook libraries is called Kurzweil. It really just supports the community in allowing access to your textbooks in a way that's supportive, so that visually you can have the experience that is supported for you inside of your textbooks. I run an entire book remediation team at ACC, and we work incredibly hard to make sure that you are experiencing your book in a way that is supportive. We have multiple accents. You can go in and out of speeds. You can pick your preference on how much is supportive for you to receive at one time. And let's listen to this voice, shall we? Let's put our money where our mouth is and see what our lovely friend Ryan has to read for us today.
You are about to embark on a journey of discovery about the nature of life. More than 180 years ago, a young English naturalist named Charles Darwin set sail on a similar journey on.
And again, right? This is your book, this is your education, everyone. Feel free to make sure you are choosing someone who is supportive for your understanding.
HMS Beagle, a replica of this ship is pictured here. What Darwin learned on his 5-year voyage led directly to his development of the theory of evolution by natural selection.
Again, pick who is supportive for you, so that you get access to your reading materials at ACC. Just another important piece of assistive technology that brings the book's voice to life.
And the nice thing about Kurzweil is that you can see the page on your computer screen. It highlights, as you saw, what it's reading. And like a hard copy book, you can highlight important parts of the chapter so that when you go back to review for a test, it will only read the highlighted parts. And you can add notes, just like a hard copy book. Kurzweil is a game changer for many of our students, and not only for students with disabilities, but students who are English language learners. So, yeah, it's a great tool.
In the chat, I asked if anyone had heard of Kurzweil. Ashley said no, but how cool. And Karen said Kurzweil is great. So she may have already had some access. That's awesome.
And for our ESL listeners, here's a little preview of Rorico, habla español.
Está a punto de embarcarse en un viaje de descubrimiento sobre la naturaleza de la vida.
Gracias, Rorico.
Thank you, Marissa. Okay, all right, next slide. So recommended accommodations for a student with dyslexia is Kurzweil for testing extended time on exams. So they have more time to read and process the information. For the classroom accommodation, they'll have their textbooks in Kurzweil, recorded lectures, and extended time on assignments. Okay, activity 3, continue the story. So I need volunteers to help me add 2 more sentences to this story prompt that we'll see in a minute. But the rule is you cannot use any words that have the letter N in it, all right? So no words with the letter N. So the story prompt is a girl took her dog to the beach to look at. Are there any volunteers out there? Be brave.
Chatbot counts. Chatbot counts.
I will happily give me a minute to sit in it.
Girl took the dog to the beach to look at.
2 sentences.
Yep.
To look at the sea, she loves birds too, as well as her dog. That was from Ashley.
Nice.
I think I did this one this time for real.
Mhm.
I said, A girl took her dog to the beach to look at the waves. The tide was very high. The surfers were amazed.
Very
I did it this
good.
time.
Very
Karen
good.
says, a girl took her dog to the beach to look at the waves. She saw a fish, a baby octopus, and a seal, and has an N in it, dear.
No, and
Filler sentences.
Mhm.
all
but
in.
those are great. Now, I want to ask you all a question. If I do put that rule on your sentences, would it take you a lot shorter time? Would you be able to come up with sentences quicker than you did with this rule?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without an N, it makes it hard.
So
And
now,
then Karen said, oops, that was harder than I thought.
yeah, yeah. So this is why students with learning disabilities need more time to think of their answers and write them down. This is why they need more time on assignments or more time on their exams. So it's not a matter of them having unfair advantage. They need the time to find the right word to put on the piece of paper. The right word is in their brain. They just need time to find it. Also, this is the way students that stutter kind of pause before they talk, because they're trying to think of words to not use that would trip up their stutter. So when somebody pauses to think about what they want to say, don't try to fill in the gap for them, because people know what they want to say. People do this all the time to me because I have cerebral palsy. I know what I want to say, and usually their guess is wrong. So that's another reason why you just need to pause and wait and be patient. Any other comments about
Leah
this?
said, that rule definitely made me struggle. And so the chatbot responded, yes, it's intentionally challenging. Yes.
Okay, next slide. So recommended accommodations for students that have to have more time to process are again Kurzweil if needed. Not everybody with a learning disability is gonna need or want Kurzweil. Extended time on exams for the class, textbooks on Kurzweil, recorded lectures, and then extended time on assignments. Okay. Dyspraxia. So I'll let you read about Daniel Radcliffe. He has a mind for the dyspraxia. So this disorder is characterized by difficulty in muscle control. And it often appears with coordination, language, and speech, and can also affect learning. Although it's not technically a learning disability, dyspraxia often occurs with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and ADHD. All right, next slide. So for this activity, can you do one more slide? Oh, go back, I'm sorry. So for this activity, I want you, if you have a mirror, I want you to take a piece of paper and hold your mirror right here. And when you write, look in the mirror. If you don't have a mirror, use your cell phone, go into photos, reverse the image so you can see yourself. Put it by the piece of paper, your paper is right here. And I want you to write the prompt. Go ahead and write the complete sentences and fill in, you know, what your name is, first and last name. When I'm on vacation, I enjoy. And remember to look at the image, not your paper.
To go like every other word on my notebook. Vacation,
And last name?
Yep.
I'm writing a whole different sentence.
I
I enjoy.
cannot do an E.
Not bad. Proud of myself.
Very good.
I'm getting better at this. I forgot a letter in my name. Our vacation.
I don't know what that letter is, but I'm moving on.
Doesn't matter how many times we do this, Elizabeth. It never gets any easier. Hope you all are doing well on Zoom.
When I'm on vacation. If we go a little over, it's fine.
Oh, I thought, yeah, thank you. Okay, everyone out there, how was that? How did that feel?
I don't even know what I do on vacation, so.
I kind of made up my own sentence after a while because I like figured out I got a rhythm of my handwriting. But then I remembered we were doing an exercise and I was writing a totally different sentence. And I looked at it. It was so hard.
Well, this is another example of why students need more time on their exams. This is probably difficult for some of you, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't even want to show that.
And just to point out, you were probably not under stress while you were writing this. Can you imagine if you're all stressed out, you have a time constraint? Can you imagine, Janie, if I stood over you, watching you, looking at my clock, you know, class is almost over.
Oh my.
Hurry up and just write it, just write it.
Yeah, I did most of the prompt for you. I can definitely hear that from a teacher and yeah, having to do that and have all of those additional layers of stress, I don't know if I'd be as comfortable as I would be normally,
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Oof.
I, in graduate school, I was in a class where the instructor didn't let me go out of the class to take more time on a quiz. He just said, don't worry, the whole class will wait until you're done.
Oh my.
The stress was unbearable and I ended up dropping the class.
You have, yes, your success is so hard in that setting.
Yeah, so it was just, that was the price students pay when instructors do not allow accommodations to happen.
Mhm.
So,
So Leah
and-
said, Lord, I did not do well on that.
Preaching to the choir.
And then Ashley said, I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Oh, thank you, thank
Mhm.
you. I had many other professors who were not like that. But I want to go over my example of talking to Jamie, saying, hey, Jamie, it's not that difficult. When people say that to a person with a disability, it's like asking them, just be taller, Jamie.
Yeah,
You can do it.
hello.
Just be taller. They cannot do it. That's why we need accommodations. It doesn't mean they're less capable. By the way, I forgot to ask you, during some of these activities, did any of these activities lower your IQ? No.
I still have my master's degree. Do you, Elizabeth?
Yes, I do.
Mhm.
I do. It just takes us longer to do these. Is the parameters we're given. I hope that makes sense.
Accommodation.
Mhm.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so naturally speaking and glean. Do you want to talk about both of them or just glean, Marissa?
I will speak naturally about dragon. Dragon is one of our many dictation practices that I demonstrate in-house with students who have print disabilities. We really are on the rise and seeing an increase in dictation software in Microsoft Word, across Google Documents, and with the voice access settings in your text messages. For those of you who talk to your cell phones, you're already practicing assistive technology. Welcome to the community of technology and access. So that's just one of the ways, and I'm a beast at the dictation practices. I love using my phone and computer with my voice. If that sounds like some journey you would like to take, come visit us. For those of you who need support taking notes in-house, one of the things that we offer for students to increase support with note-taking within our print disability identity community is Glean. Glean is a recording software that allows you to increase access with your communication on the input side of things when your professor is rattling off all of those beautiful notes in class. As you can see, my Glean software is actively absorbing the conversation in the room and increasing my access to note-taking in the classroom. You can always create a safe space to take actual notes in class. And in this software, every note you take is going to be a bullet point, and it even has pushes to make sure you're hearing something important. And to me, that's some new knowledge, something I'm excited about. Take a note, and it even has a button for review, which are all keywords that your professor says in class, which is awesome. Expanding note-taking skills, taking away stress that is so layered on top of the exercise that we just had, right? Imagine taking your notes in class at a high level. This allows the disability print community to have the grace that you need to absorb all the notes in class and make sure that you're strengthening out your note-taking skills that you already have. We're just giving you accommodations so that you have access to the notes that you need, just like everybody else in class. Pretty incredible.
And I wish this was available to me when I was in college 20 years ago. I recorded it with a tape recorder, but with a tape recorder, you have to rewind and try to find what spot you're looking for. With Glean, you don't have to do that. You type in your note and then you click on that note when you get home and it starts the lecture from that point. Sorry, Marissa, I know you want that.
Always
Sorry.
create a safe space to take actual notes in class. And in But as you can see, I'm demonstrating exactly what you would do. Take your notes in class, absorb information on your own terms that is supportive for your disability identity, right? At the end of the day, you can absorb the notes in a way that's supportive for you, make notes that make sense for your brain, copy and paste them where they need to go, and keep studying and be the amazing ACC Puma that you are.
Thank you, Marissa.
Absolutely. Welcome to Glean.
So for anybody that has trouble writing, and it's not only somebody with a learning disability, like I did not have a learning disability, but I have cerebral palsy, and it makes it hard for me to write. So I would have needed this and more time on exams. But again, for testing accommodations occurs well if needed, extended time on exams, the use of a computer to type out essay questions. the use of dictation software like Dragon or a scribe. A scribe is just somebody who will write out the answers for you. For class accommodations, textbooks in Kurzweil if needed, recording lectures using apps like Lean and extended time on assignment. Okay. All right, so the next learning disability is dyscalculia. Henry Winkler is an actor, very old actor. A lot of you probably don't know who he is. I know who he is because I used to watch Happy Days. And he has dyscalculia. So dyscalculia is a learning disability that people have trouble comprehending math symbols. They struggle with memorizing, organizing numbers, and have difficulty telling time or have trouble counting. So, next slide, please. So, class, we are going to have a math pop quiz. I hope you all studied. I will give you one, Jamie. Will you like one, Marissa? Okay, so you will have 1 minute to do this activity.
Yes.
And remember, everyone, before you start,
Everest.
read the directions. On your mark. Oh, and then you have to change the slide, Marissa.
Yeah, sorry about this,
Are
everyone.
you
I'm
ready?
very excited to take my quiz.
Go. Read the directions.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't actually remember math.
Don't feel that.
I'm too tired from flipping my symbols. I forgot my math on my times tables.
No.
What is 9 plus? Oh, 9 plus is multiplied. What is 9 times 4?
36.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get you on my quiz, Luke.
A little bit.
I know, what is all the talking right here?
Sorry, Professor.
Sorry, Professor.
Okay, time.
Just remember math.
Yes.
Alright. I can see who studied and who did not study.
Yes.
All right, so next slide, Marissa. So you can check your answers, but more importantly, how did that activity feel?
Oh, was
I
so
forgot
hard.
math alongside Marissa. I felt bad because I couldn't help Marissa.
It was hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
I was trying so hard to flip my symbols
Mm-hmm.
so that I was actually doing the problem as intended. And I'm like questioning the way I say my words because of all these exercises. I'm getting so confused on top of like reading letters, reading words. And now we're flipping symbols like. This
But
is genuinely so hard for me to do, Elizabeth.
If you have more time, you could do it. Anybody can do this if they have more time. And again, it doesn't lower your IQ. It just means you need more time. So those of you out there, how did this feel?
I will say this time around, I kind of was strategic. So the first says plus sign means to multiply. So I tried to find all the plus signs first and multiply them.
Oh.
And then I tried to do the minus sign next, because I was like plus minus. So then I had to read the directions further to find out that meant divide. But you know, you think divide and conquer, you can overcome it, and clearly that's not how that went for me.
I mean,
But yes.
it's the first time I have to say we've done this presentation together as a group of 3 Zoomies, like 3 times. And this is the first time I've ever gotten to the 3rd row
Mhm.
of questions. I've only ever been able to answer 6 in this exercise, and I finally answered 8.
Yeah, well, I've had professors, math professors doing this activity say, man, this is hard.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
but it's good that they see that, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Any comments? That's okay if there's no comments, but
With
this,
the strategic approach, I was able to get 14 done.
that's really good, and that's
Yeah.
what we try to teach
Mhm.
our students, and that's what our tutors try to teach. our
Exactly.
But if
students.
you're raised as someone like me, who's like,
Go-
that's
don't
going
go to
out
the
of
next one.
order, Jamie, I
Yes.
can't do that.
When it hurt me to go
Intellectually-
out of order, yeah.
Intellectually, it hurts my heart, it ruins my process. If I try and do that because I've been trained to read left to right,
Mhm.
and I'm taken out by the print, like, so effective. I love
Well, and just to let you know how
hard.
this is stressful. I mean, when I was in 3rd grade and had to do the 1-minute hand multiplication test, I failed every time because I could not write the numbers fast enough. If my professor, say, you know this, I know you know it, so he drew an invisible line across my page and says, try to make it to this point. And it made all the difference. And
Nice.
nobody else in my class knew I had that accommodation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, next slide. So again, for testing accommodations, extended time on exams, the use of a math department approved formula notes, the use of a calculator, the use of a computer, and then again for class, recorded lecture, more time on math assignments, and the use of a calculator for math assignments. Okay, next slide. All right. Last but not least is ADHD, and Emma Watson have ADHD. So students that have ADHD have a hard time focusing, they get distracted really easy. They might have to fidget or move around, and it's very hard for them to focus on an exam during class because they hear everything. They hear the pencil going, paper shuffling, so it's very hard for them to concentrate. So next slide. So for our last activity, you're gonna see a bunch of colors on the screen, but you're not gonna read the color. You're gonna say the color of the font it's in. So for example, if you see the word blue written in color red font, you will say red, okay? And when I say go, you're gonna read them out loud as quickly as you can. But people out in Zoom, you need to unmute for this activity. Okay, is everyone clear? So we want to hear your voices, okay? Because there's only 5 of us.
Go ahead, Morgan. Go ahead, Talia, unmute.
Let's get loud. Let's get
Okay.
distracting.
On your mark, it says go.
Green,
gray,
purple,
Green,
gray,
purple,
yellow,
gray, pink,
orange,
blue,
red,
yellow, red,
green,
white,
gray,
orange,
green,
yellow,
green,
purple,
red,
purple,
white,
purple,
red,
white,
gray,
yellow,
red, yellow, blue, white, orange,
orange,
blue,
blue,
yellow, green, red,
red,
orange,
white, orange, purple,
gray, white,
green,
orange,
blue,
purple,
gray, green,
Yellow.
Is it
Red.
pink,
Blue.
red,
Gray,
orange,
green.
yellow, purple, blue, gray, green?
Stop going. I'll make it stop.
Go ahead, Karen.
Bring it
I
on,
think I'm done.
Karen.
Okay, so how was that? I love Marissa's comment. She said she just wanted to leave the room. That's how some people with ADHD feel.
Sensory processing.
So for you out in Zoom, how did this feel?
For me, while we wait for some of the ladies to respond, for me, it was kind of reminiscent. I grew up in a big house with a lot of noise, and so I was notorious for starting that so that I could do my work. It's almost like I needed the white noise in the background. And then Karen said, for me, this was easier than those math problems. And so I feel that kind of in the sense of, yes, it's distracting and I can treat it like white noise, which is weird
Yeah.
and probably not appropriate, but still.
I mean, it was fun until I couldn't take it anymore. I had a fun time when I had, like, I actually started from the pink grain at the corner pocket to the right and I went backwards.
Mhm.
Just so I could start from a different area, but then once I got to my second row, I was like, the sound is crawling up my spine.
Yes, I definitely felt
Physically
it right
like this.
here.
Yeah,
I like, it was fun until it immediately slapped me in the face and it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've done this with groups of 20 and it gets really loud. And again, these are all professors and they get flustered. This is exactly why a private room for test takers is needed.
Talia said, the mixed signals I was battling with this activity made it harder to mentally push through. I know my colors, but this was still tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Fun fact though, if you show this to a second or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, they have no problems doing this because they know their colors, but they cannot read that.
That's fun.
Okay, next slide. All right, so accommodations again for somebody with ADHD is cursor if needed, extend time on exam, private room, noise canceling headsets, which is probably what Marissa needed, the ability to listen to music during the exam. We do have that as an accommodation. For the classroom, textbooks are seated on cursor, recorded lectures. This is important for our students because if they're distracted by somebody drinking water, they're gonna have the lecture recorded exactly.
Or for example, if you are someone who knows that they will get distracted taking notes in class,
Mhm.
I'm a deep listener, I need assistive technology to record my lectures because I will memorize everything in the room.
Yeah,
But if I take notes, I'm gonna miss a beat.
right. For some people with ADHD, fidget tools help. So that's another accommodation. Next slide. Okay, folks, do you have any questions or do you want to comment on the activity? We just made it under the wire.
Yes. I put the fun fact in the chat and that was loved by Talia. I also did the mix, thumbs up Talia's mixed signals. I got a couple of quotes from you ladies as well, so I appreciate your presentation today. Any additional questions? I'm not seeing at the moment, but I know Marissa's typing in the emails to get a hold of these individuals at any time.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time and being a part of this presentation. I know you've learned something and pass on the knowledge.
There you go. Yep, our hope is to take this recording and post it to YouTube so that the world will see all the great things we're doing here at ACC Disability Access Services. Marissa, if you can, go ahead and stop recording, and we are good to go. Thank you for attending. Make sure you knock out your surveys.
Bye.